Hi, my name is Maddie, and I'm going
to have a baby.
But also, in addition to that, I am on a journey. I'm on a journey of financial stability. I didn't want to say independence. I didn't want to say freedom. I owe student loan debt. I rent. So, I feel like we're a long way from financial freedom, but, financial stability. So you see the title, you know what this video is. I only went grocery shopping one time this month. The idea of this video is both exciting and terrifying. I thought about this whenever I was thinking about doing a no spend challenge because I was like, wow, I have never heard of such a thing before. I've never seen it done. I mean, I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it has been done, but I personally have not seen it done. It was my idea. Having said that, I was very intimidated by planning something of this magnitude. First of all, because I have ADHD and I am forever forgetting things at the store. Henry is always bringing home little things that I forgot for a recipe or something that I was sure we had, but then it turns out we were out of it and I didn't realize it. Henry's the real MVP in here. I will also randomly want something else for dinner than what we have at home. Sometimes I'm like, I want Mexican food, so let's just make Mexican food at home. It'll be healthier. It won't be probably as good, but it'll be healthier and I can at least account for the calories. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm being good. I didn't go out to eat. But really, I'm being more like chaotic neutral by not eating what we already had at home. And Henry doesn't help because he's always like,
oh yeah, I'd subscribe to your newsletter.
So I do hope this challenge will give me a little more discipline and help me be a little more resourceful in the kitchen because I'm really not. I knew the process of planning this would be a doozy, so I decided to just do some general brainstorming. I thought about produce that maybe had a longer shelf life, things that actually last in the refrigerator, things I might have to give up, and maybe even like freezer meals or things like that. I just kind of was throwing things at the wall to see what would stick. Because one of my big concerns has been making sure that I am getting enough plant-based foods. And a lot of things freeze, so I'm sure you guys have heard that even buying plants frozen is better sometimes than buying them fresh because they are picked at the peak time and flash frozen, so they have all the nutrition. But here's the thing. I only have so much room in my freezer. Yes, I have a deep freeze, but there's only so much room in there. Like, she's already packed enough as it is. I'm also concerned because, I do eat a lot of breakfast wraps in the morning with carb balanced tortillas, and those do apparently have a shelf life of 2 weeks. But I don't know. Some things last longer than the shelf life says because it's all a conspiracy to get you to go out and buy more. But let's just say I'm probably going to have to get a little more creative. I do have some hopes for this challenge. I hope I'll save time, but I kind of am doubting it because planning something of this magnitude is just going to take a while. Plus, I get my groceries delivered, and because I'm doing this challenge, I will have to physically go to the store, so I will be, I don't want to say wasting time on that. It's not a waste of time, but I'll be using time to do that. Plus, I'm going to have to separate things like meat, because I plan to buy it in bulk and separate it into Ziploc bags or whatever and freeze it. So yeah, I don't actually expect to save time, but I am curious. I do, however, hope to save money. I will break down those numbers at the end of all this once we've done everything we're supposed to do with what I spent versus what I saved. I do have some ground rules for this challenge. Rule number 1, and this should be obvious, is that I will only be going grocery shopping one time this month. I will say, given the seriousness of this challenge, if the first store maybe doesn't have what I need, I can go to another store and go shopping that same day. But the point is, once that day is done, I can't go to the store. I can't ask Henry to bring something home. That's the rules. And I'm only including this as groceries. So if we run out of toilet paper, paper towels, medicine, anything non-edible, we can go get that from the store. And you might be like, well, Maddie, that doesn't sound like that's the challenge. Well, you'll get over it. Okay, you do your own challenge. But the point is, I told you guys, I have ADHD. This is going to take a lot of mental strength from me. So that's what I've decided to go with. Rule numero tres is that this is not a no-spend challenge. I am embarrassed to say that part of what has been holding me back from doing a no spin challenge is that I love to go out to eat. I've actually told you guys this, I think in my patterns video. Quality time is my love language, and one of the easiest things to do is go sit at a restaurant, look at your loved one, keep your phones put away, and have conversation. And I love that shit. I do. So this is not a no spin challenge. I will be allowing myself to go out to eat once a week, as well as maybe like an extra little like coffee treat, because I love a good little coffee treat. I can't lie to you. But those are the rules. Basically, I don't want to be supplementing my cravings that I'm missing out from groceries by going out to eat. Does that make sense? Maybe? Okay. So phase one of this actually starts before I even grocery shop or even put a list together. And that is to see what food we do in fact have at home. I've already done this because it was really important to me to not waste food during this challenge and to use what we have in order to save money. So Henry and I both unloaded and took inventory of our deep freezer as well as our regular freezer. We organized it, we planned it. I did look at the pantry, but honestly, the big thing was the deep freeze because there was a lot of things in there. Because meal planning is just going to be a huge part of this challenge, and meat is expensive, and that's mainly what was in our deep freeze. So I will flash up kind of how I did that. I totally used a dry erase marker. The cats have already gotten to it, but I took a picture, so that's super helpful. It's just nice to have something that tells you what's in here, so I don't have to dig around. I can just know. But all right, I don't really know how I'm going to structure this video because it is a month-long challenge, but let's get into some like shopping footage. I know that this is kind of a long intro, but I just wanted to lay everything out for you guys, why I'm doing this challenge, the rules, etc. Maybe some things for you to consider if you want to give this challenge a try. So let's get into it. All right, so we are at the Sam's Club, and we are here to shop, and I tried so hard to come here before 5, but you know what, it's 5, so I failed in that mission. Henry is here for moral support, but to also help me stay organized and potentially help me film, but I have a feeling that we're not going to get much filming done. We'll see.
You think you're going to be like accosted in the thing?
No, when I say filming, I don't just mean like just shots of what we get. I also mean like me potentially talking.
Yeah.
But no, I just think it's going to be busy and loud.
Yeah, it will.
I went through the last 3 months of our grocery orders. That's not true. I went through October, September, and August, because November and December, the groceries were weird because we were traveling and all sorts of stuff. And I found that on average, we spend about $440 on groceries a month. Feels like a lot between the two of us. It does. It really does. But that's just what we spend. That does include like toiletries and other things, stuff we get delivered. That includes all of that. Cat food, cat litter, they use a lot of it. What that does not include is when Henry picks up a bunch of odds and ends for me at the grocery store, which is often. So I feel like comfortably $450, we're hoping to come in under that. If we do, we saved money in this experiment. I don't necessarily expect to, because it's not like we're eating a smaller amount of food, but maybe without like, you know, the impulse of some of the things that I do sometimes. Regardless, we're going to go in there. I have already spent $230 on getting non-bulk items sent to our house, so those will be arriving tonight. But we are coming in here for bulk stuff, for meat and all kinds of things. So I'm hoping we get out for less than $200. I'm seriously doubting it because I have a pretty big list, but we'll see. Stay tuned. All right, so I organized it to try to like keep us organized. So we have a ton of different meats, some produce, dairy, and pantry items, which I thought might be here, but it was not. We don't know our way around Sam's Club, unfortunately. But you know what? If I were ever trapped in a Sam's, I would build an epic fort.
Oh my god. Either way, it's fine. We don't know. It'll be an adventure.
All right. Oh my god.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, absolutely not.
What?
You do not need $11 worth of jelly beans.
This will get me through the weekend.
No, absolutely not.
Come on.
No. It's $11 worth of jelly beans.
Such a good deal, though.
No, it's not.
54 ounces for $11? I can't beat that.
Oh my god. No.
You want to get the tax first?
It should be the tax.
It might not. I don't know.
Yeah, honey, that's with
Okay, cool.
tax. Oh, yeah. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but I swear it's a lot. We came to Aldi's for some produce because Walmart/Sam's Club produce is notoriously shit. So we came here for that and maybe some frozen meals. I don't know. Aldi's always has cool stuff. What, you? Oh my god.
I don't even know what I wanted with buttercream.
Okay, so it turns out a month's worth of groceries is a lot. How's it going?
I'm cold. I don't know if you know that, but it's cold out there.
It's all right.
Eternity later.
All right, so we did it. So let's talk about how it went. I thought it would be a lot of planning, and it turns out I was right. Something I did to set myself up for success at the very beginning of the challenge was that as soon as we got home from the grocery store, I pre-sorted all of my meat by weight. I used a food scale, a Ziploc bag, and some Sharpies, and I got organized. I also cut up a bunch of vegetables, pre-froze those as well because we would need them later in the month. And if I had pre-cut vegetables already, I would just kind of put them in Ziploc bags to be more compact than some of the materials and things that they came in. Another random thing was a trick I actually picked up in college, which is also putting Hot Pockets in Ziploc bags. This was something I kind of had to do whenever I shared a freezer with 5 roommates. So you might be like, Maddie, you're eating Hot Pockets in this economy. Not very demure, not very mindful. Or more likely you're like, Maddie, Hot Pockets are not healthy. But like real talk, I kind of enjoyed having them like as a quick lunch alongside some berries, at least the berries at the beginning of the challenge, baby carrots, cherry tomatoes, things like that. For a quick lunch, it really hit, and it was nice to just have something that was grab and go. So whenever I was in the planning process of this video and I was planning out my dinners and my actual meals, I decided to sort my meals into categories. So I do like to eat fish at least once a week, so I had a fish category, a quick meals category, meals that would come together in like 30 minutes or less, and a crock pot / big ass one pot meal category, aka meals that make a lot of food, would make a lot of leftovers, so we wouldn't have to worry about cooking at least one night a week. I also had a lot of breakfast, lunch, and snack ideas on deck as well, although let's be real, I ate a plethora of breakfast burritos because I am like Bubba from Forrest Gump when it comes to my breakfast burritos.
You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp creole, shrimp gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp.
Also, it turns out that those Mission Carb Balance tortillas last a lot longer than 2 weeks, so that was a concern I had at the beginning that ended up not being an issue at all. This would actually be a good time to mention that I do have a vlog showing some of the food that I ate during this challenge in detail, so if you're curious, please check that out if you're interested, and if you're not, okay, I guess I get it. So for videos like these, I will often list out all of the food that I ate in category breakfast, lunch, and dinner. However, most of the stuff that I ate during this challenge are things that I've eaten on the channel before, because this challenge required so much brain power in the beginning. I wasn't trying to break the wheel with new recipes. I just stuck with what I knew. It's worth mentioning that even in doing that, it was a lot of planning. Total, it probably took a little over 2 hours worth of just the planning part of this. But there was something that I utilized that really actually helped me in the planning process of this video. So, take it away, past Maddie. What up, future Maddie? Okay, so the thing that I implied, the pièce de la résistance that helped me in the planning process of this challenge is a website designed by a friend of mine called reciperemake.net. Now, before you click away, just know that the YouTube gods require me to tell you that this is not a sponsored video. This video is not sponsored. This website was just created by a friend of mine who worked really hard on it, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. That's all I wanted. So let me tell you guys about this really quick for funsies, because I really do feel like it helped me out. Have you ever been looking at a recipe on a website and you were just inundated with ads? It is very distracting.
It is downright annoying, and they just seem to get in the way. And no shade to vloggers or recipe developers. Like, I get it. You get your bag, girl. You do it. But sometimes you just want to look at a recipe about pork chops and not read about how the author grew up on a farm raising pigs and that's how they came up with the best recipe ever for pork chops. And if that sounds like you, then Recipe Remake may be just for you. With RecipeRemake.net, you can scrap the annoying details and extract the information that actually matters, the recipe and the ingredients. If you have other dietary preferences, then you can try the remix button and have the recipe modified for your preferences. The website also has a lot of other great features. You can plug ingredients into the scrambler to put a recipe together from your own ingredients that you have at home. So like if you do have McDonald's ingredients at home, you can have McDonald's at home. You can also give the website a prompt with the Imagine function to generate a recipe based on your preferences. And finally, if you're like me and you're just downright indecisive, you can use the randomizer to discover an entirely new recipe, a whole new world. And finally, to make things even easier, you can store your ingredients in your pantry on the website and add them to your shopping list. Like I said, this website was created by a friend of mine, and it's still very much in the beta phase. It's still in development. So if you do try it out and you have any feedback, feel free to email him at support@reciperemake.net. But other than that, I just wanted to let you guys know about this cool thing that I utilized to help me out with this challenge. All right, back to you, future matey.
Hey, snap back to reality, back to present day.
So with all of that, let's talk about the positives and what I liked about this challenge. I feel like I've already talked ad nauseum about how much planning this took on the front end, but on the back end, giggity. On the back end, it was great once I was in the thick of the challenge. Literally every week, I'd consult my little notebook where I wrote down my meals, and I would pick a meal each from those pre-selected categories I mentioned earlier, and it was awesome. It honestly took no planning, no brain power whatsoever. And as a result, I was able to free up my mind to keep my peepers out for new recipes, whereas before, I would be a lot less tempted to do that. Let's just be real. So it was almost like I was front-loading all of the effort. It kind of sucked at first, but it got better. Next up was something I was deeply concerned about, which was food waste. Because whenever you're buying food and some of it is supposed to last a month, food waste is going to be a major concern. However, freezing things, and yes, even pre-cut vegetables, actually worked beautifully, and the only things I wasted were a few soggy leaves of spinach and some sliced cheese. One thing that was a struggle for me was not giving into cravings and letting Henry pick up little random things, little treats from the grocery store. I had to resist. I did have one craving that I ended up giving into, and it was random, to say the least.
So I have about a week left of this challenge, and I watched a vlog where Beatrice Caruso had tuna salad, or tuna, I don't know what else you call it, tuna salad. And, you know, it was one of those things where Beatrice Caruso had tuna salad with boiled eggs in it, so now I want tuna salad with boiled eggs in it. Like when you're pregnant, at least when I'm pregnant, I'm craving everything, but oftentimes I find that even a strong craving will typically go away after a day or so, or if I just eat something. And if it doesn't, then I will give in and I'll eat it. But I've been staying true to this challenge as best I can. I haven't been going to the grocery store and getting little extra odds and ends, little treats, little things. I have been trying to adhere to the challenge. However, I've been really wanting it. And something in my brain clicked and was like, Maddie, you're pregnant. And tuna salad is pretty damn nutritious. Someone will argue with me, but like it's lean, it's full of protein. Like it's good. It's good. Not too much, but you know, because mercury, I think. Sorry, my cats are fighting. But it's good for you. So I was like, well, Maddie, just go to the store and get some tuna cans. They're not that expensive. And the other part of me was like, no, Maddie, you can't do that. You have this challenge. You have to be good. And then the other part of me is like, okay, but what about critical thinking? This is good. And then I realized this is all a moot point because I literally have a can of tuna in my pantry. Maddie wants tuna as a treat today, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander. This is the gander. Also, do you guys like my shirt? Henry got it for me for Christmas. All right, I've been talking for like 2 minutes about nothing, but let's get some tuna salad. All right, sorry for the bad lighting. Update though, Robin's in the back sleeping, but somebody knows and is very interested, which is funny because I've never given him tuna before. So how does he know? How do you know, Gandalf? How do you know? I'm not a monster. I gave him some of the excess. Oh no! It's not only good, but it was worth all the anguish I went through to have it.
But honestly, watching that footage back, something I appreciate about this challenge is in the past, I just would have run out to the grocery store and gotten some tuna. No big deal. I literally had no idea that I had a lone can of tuna fish in my pantry already. So it was good that I had to think it through and ponder on it a bit because I found the can and I got my tuna. Another struggle toward the end was that I was definitely missing out on my fresh Bubba berries. I swear that's from something, but I can never find the clip, so if you guys know where that's from, please tell me, because it's driving me crazy. Regardless, I really miss my fresh berries. I would always have them in the house before this challenge, because let's be real, they're a folate-rich food. They're low in carbs. They're low in sugar. And they're just delicious to sprinkle on top of things or eat on the side of things. They're good. I was able to have them at the beginning naturally, but once they were gone, I missed them. I typically ate apples and oranges because they last a while in the fridge, and I also would have some baby carrots for the same reason. Sometimes a little russet potato beside a turkey burger for lunch. That was definitely a thing that I would do. But by the end, it got boring. I also just feel like I was overall less healthy for this challenge. It definitely was not Mediterranean diet friendly in the slightest. We don't have a lot of bulk grocery stores around us. Actually, we don't have any other ones other than Sam's Club. And Sam's doesn't really have great options when it comes to getting healthier food. If they do carry something, they typically only have one or two options. And a lot of the time, those options have fillers and additives and bullshit in them. And I'm not a person that has to eat a completely clean diet, but if I only have to spend a couple extra cents to get, a version of that food that doesn't have all of that BS in it, then I'm going to do that. And Sam's didn't even have the option for that. So unfortunately, I had to get things from other stores, and it was kind of inconvenient and kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Next, let's talk about somewhere where I maybe didn't do as well and where I broke the rules. Sorry. So I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys and tell you that Henry and I were not good about only eating out once a week. We did not hold true to that rule. And I could give you guys a number of excuses about that, but really it all boils down to this. You only have so many fucks to give. Let me just be real with y'all. I am in school. I have a full-time job. I have YouTube. And without going into too much detail, lately, work has sucked. I've talked a great deal about brain energy and things in this video. And, having ADHD, it's really hard to really keep focused on a lot of things at once. And that is what I've been doing lately. I feel like there's only so much more I can cram into my brain to make myself care more about other things. I can't explain it. I don't even think I'm explaining this very well. There's just a lot going on. I have a lot on my plate, and Henry likes to remind me of that, and it's very sweet. Because also, on top of all that, I'm pregnant, I'm tired, I'm hormonal, I have cravings. And I'm dedicating a lot of my time and energy outside of doing all that other stuff I just mentioned to reading pregnancy books and learning as much as I can. It has been a lot. So yes, this month I could have been better about going out to restaurants, and I could have withheld that, but I just wanted to be honest with y'all. I'm not perfect, and I don't want you to feel like you have to be either. Next month will be better. It will. Going back over to the positive side though, by and large, we did abide by the whole no trips to the grocery store thing. I drank protein milk, and that actually lasts a weirdly long amount of time in the fridge. I froze a second loaf of bread, and so we never ran out of bread during the challenge. I was really able to get around most of the things that concerned me at the beginning of the challenge. The one time I did outright break the rule about no extra trips to the grocery store was actually in relation to a friend's birthday. I got her a couple little goodies from the grocery store, some treats. And I actually got the ingredients to make a treat for Henry for Valentine's Day. Happy belated Valentine's Day. But I made him a treat in the form of pineapple upside down cake. Well, I made them as cupcakes, but they were delicious. We did not have the ingredients for those. But yeah, they hit. I regret nothing. I feel like Valentine's Day was a special occasion anyway. And if I had been smarter and thought about those things ahead of time, like that would have been a lot better. But you know, I didn't. But that's okay. You live and you learn. Last but not least, I did want to talk about the time and the money aspect of this. Overall, I do think that I spent a similar amount of time planning for this challenge as I do for my weekly grocery orders. Like that time combined, I spent the same amount of time with this challenge. Does that make sense? It all matched out to be the same. I do think this challenge took more effort. I can't really explain why I feel that way, but I do. Money-wise, I mentioned earlier in the video that we tend to spend about $450 a month on groceries. And this month we spent, drumroll, $550. I definitely kind of wondered at the beginning, how did this happen and why? This does not make sense. But it actually turns out that even with the challenge being over, we actually have a lot of meat left. We bought, for instance, a $30 bag of scallops from Sam's Club, and we still have a lot of that left. We have those tuna steaks left. We have chicken left. And so I think it honestly also adds up to be the same amount if you consider those, because we'll save money this coming month by not having to buy that meat. Because meat, let's be real, is the most expensive part of a grocery trip anyway. So overall, I think this challenge did have a lot of obstacles. I mean, there's a reason I called it a challenge. I always ask myself at the end of these kind of things, would I do this again? And yes, I actually would. I might do some version of it where I plan out a bunch of meals ahead of time. And maybe I only buy certain ingredients, a month out. And then the week of, I do fresh ingredients ahead of time. Something like that, maybe some variation so I don't have the pitfalls I had at the end where I'm missing the fresh ingredients I was used to having before, if that all makes sense. But if you guys have any suggestions or ideas for how I can make this easier on myself or how you would do it, I would definitely be down to hear it because I did my best, okay? But like I said at the beginning, I've never heard of this kind of idea before, so I just wanted to try it the way I thought it would work out. And honestly, it wasn't too bad. But overall, I hope this video inspired you. I hope it was of interest. I hope it entertained you. All of the positive things. And if it did, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe because the YouTube wizards love that stuff for the growth of my channel. But with that, I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And don't forget to check out recipieremake.net. Bye. Bye.